Yes, welcome back. Let's read this one. The auto reading not working, so I had to read page by page. I need to reboot my computer, but I have too many windows open. I need to wait till my computer is crashing.
Pantanal. Coordinates 17 degree 24 s 57 degree 30 Pantanal. Typical Pantanal scenery map of the Pantanal Ecogeonecologia Ionia tropical biome flooded grasslands and savannas. Geography area 195,000 km 2 75,000 square mi. Countries Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay. Conservation Global 200 Pantanal flooded savannas UNESCO World Heritage Site location Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay. The Pantanal, Portuguese pronunciation, Pantanal, is a natural region encompassing the world's largest tropical wetland area, and the world's largest flooded grasslands. It is located mostly within the Brazilian state of Mato Grosso do Sul, but it extends into Mato Grosso and portions of Bolivia and Paraguay. It sprawls over an area estimated at between 140,000 and 195,000 square kilometers, 54,075,000 square mi. Various subregional ecosystems exist, each with distinct hydrological, geological and ecological characteristics. Up to 12 of them have been defined. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roughly 80% of the Pantanal floodplains are submerged during the rainy seasons, nurturing a biologically diverse collection of aquatic plants and helping to support a dense array of animal species. Etymology. The name Pantanal comes from the Portuguese word pantano that means swamp, wetland, bog, quagmire or marsh plus the suffix al, that means abundance, agglomeration, collection. By comparison, the Brazilian highlands are locally referred to as the Planalto, that means plateau or, literally, high plain. Geography and geology. The Pantanal is about 140,000–160,000 square kilometers, 54,000–62,000 square mi, 8–9. Gently sloped basin that receives runoff from the upland areas, the Planalto highlands, and slowly releases the water through the Paraguay River and tributaries. The formation is a result of the large, concave Andean depression of the Earth's crust, related to the Andean orogeny of the Tertiary. It constitutes an enormous internal river delta, in which several rivers flowing from the surrounding plateau merge, depositing their sediments and erosion residues, which have been filling, throughout the years, the large depression area of the Pantanal. This area is also one of the distinct physiographic provinces of the larger Paraná-Paraguay plain area, which encompasses a total of 1.5106 km to 580,000 square mi. 10. Criteria Natural, 7, 9, x. Reference 999 Inscription 2000, 24th Session, Area 187,818 km 2, 72,517 square mi. Coordinates 17 degree 24 s 57 degree 30 w. Ramsar Wetland. Official name Pantanal Mato Grossense. Designated 24 May 1993. Reference No. 602. 1. Ramsar Wetland. Official name El Pantano Boliviano. Designated 17 September 2001. Reference No. 1089. 2. Pantanal is located in Brazil. Pantanal. Location of Pantanal in Brazil. The Pantanal is bounded by the Chiquitano dry forests to west and northwest, by the arid Chaco dry forests to the southwest, and the humid Chaco to the south. The Cerrado savannas lie to the north, east and southeast. The Pantanal is a tropical wet and dry region with an average annual temperature of 21.5 degrees Celsius, 70.7 degrees Fahrenheit, and rainfall at 1,320 mm, 52 in a year. 9. Throughout the year, temperature varies about 6.0 degrees Celsius, 10.8 degrees Fahrenheit, with the warmest month being November, with an average temperature of 26 degrees Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit, and the coldest month being June, with an average temperature of 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Its wettest month is January, with an average of 340 mm or 13 in, and its driest is June, with an average of 3 mm or 0.12 in. 9. Hydrodynamics. Landscape floodplain ecosystems such as the Pantanal are defined by the seasonal inundation and desiccation. 3. They shift between phases of standing water and phases of dry soil when the water table can be well below the root region. 3. Soils range from high levels of sand in higher areas to higher amounts of clay and silt in riverine areas. Elevation of the Pantanal ranges from 80 to 150 m. 260 to 490 foot, above sea level. 3. Annual rainfall over the flood basin is between 1,000 and 1,500 mm, 39 and 59 in, with most rainfall occurring between November and March. 3. Annual average precipitation ranged from 920 to 1,540 in the years 1968-2000. 9. In the Paraguay River portion of Pantanal, water levels rise between 2 meters to 5 meters seasonally. Water fluctuations in other parts of the Pantanal are less than this. 3. Flood waters tend to flow slowly, 2 to 10 centimeters, 0.79 to 3.94 in per second. 3. Due to low gradients and high resistance offered by the denser vegetation. When rising river waters first contact previously dry soil, the waters become oxygen depleted, rendering the water environs anoxic. 3. Many natural fish kills can occur if there are no oxygenated water refuges available. The reason for Pantanal is located in South America. Pantanal, South America. This remains speculative. It may be due to the growth of toxin-producing bacteria in the deoxygenated water rather than as a direct result of lack of oxygen. 3. Flora. The vegetation of the Pantanal, often referred to as the Pantanal complex, is a mixture of plant communities typical of a variety of surrounding biome regions. These include moist tropical Amazonian rainforest plants, semi-arid woodland plants typical of northeast Brazil, Brazilian Cerrado savanna plants and plants of the Chaco savannas of Bolivia and Paraguay. 3. Forests usually occur at higher altitudes of the region, while grasslands cover the seasonally inundated areas. The key limiting factors for growth are inundation and, even more importantly, water stress during the dry season. 3. According to Embrapa, approximately 2,000 different plants have been identified in the Pantanal biome and classified according to their potential, with some presenting significant medicinal promise. 11. Fauna. The Pantanal ecosystem is home to some 463 species of birds, 269 species of fishes, more than 236 species of mammals, 141 species of reptiles and amphibians, and over 9,000 subspecies of invertebrates. The apple snail is a keystone species in Pantanal's ecosystem. When the wetlands are flooded once a year, the grass and other plants will eventually die and start to decay. During this process, Decomposing microbes deplete the shallow water of all oxygen, suffocating larger decomposers. Unlike other decomposing animals, the apple snails have both gills and lungs, making it possible for them to thrive in anoxic waters where they recycle the nutrients. To get oxygen, they extend a long snorkel to the water surface, pumping air into their lungs. This ability allows them to consume all the dead plant matter and turn it into nutritious fertilizer available for the plants in the area. The snails themselves are also food for a variety of animals. 13, 14, 15. Among the rarest animals to inhabit the wetland of the Pantanal are the marsh deer, Blastocerus dichotomous, and the giant river otter, Pteronura brasiliensis. Parts of the Pantanal are also home to the following endangered or threatened species: the hyacinth macaw, Anodorhynchus hyacinthinus, a bird endangered due to smuggling; the crowned solitary eagle, Buteogulus coronatus; the maned wolf, Chrysocheon brachyurus; the bush dog, Spethos venaticus; the South American tapir, Tapirus terrestris; and the giant anteater, Myrmecophaga tridactyla. Common species in the Pantanal include the capybara, Hydrochoerus hydrocris, ocelot, Lepidus pardalis, and the yoker caiman, Caiman yoker. According to 1996 data, there were 10 million caimans in the Pantanal, making it the highest concentration of crocodilians in the world. 16. The Pantanal is home to one of the largest and healthiest jaguar, Panthronca, populations on Earth. There are 13 species of herons and egrets, 6 species of ibises and spoonbills, and 5 species of kingfishers that use the Pantanal as a breeding and feeding ground. There are 19 species of parrots documented in the Pantanal, including 5 species of macaws. Some migratory birds include the American golden plover, peregrine falcon, and the bobolink. 17. Most fish are detritivores, primarily ingesting fine particles from sediments and plant surfaces. 3. This is characteristic of fish living in South American floodplains in general. Fish migration between river channels and floodplain regions occurs seasonally. 3. These fish have many adaptations that allow them to survive in the oxygen-depleted floodplain waters. 3. In addition to the caiman, some of the reptiles that inhabit the Pantanal are the yellow anaconda, Eunectes notius, the golddew, Tupinambis bixin, the red-footed tortoise, Geochelone carbellaria, and the green iguana, iguana. Gallery. Lowland tapir. Lowland tapir. Hyacinth macaws. Hyacinth macaws. Giant anteater. Giant anteater. Pantanal jaguar. Pantanal jaguar. Capybaras. Capybaras. Marsh deer. Marsh deer. Black howler monkeys. Black howler monkeys. Southern taiman deer. Southern taiman deer. Crested caracara. Crested caracara. Lesser yellow-headed vulture. Lesser yellow-headed vulture. Yoker caiman. Yoker caiman. Threats. The Pantanal region includes essential sanctuaries for migratory birds, critical nursery grounds for aquatic life, and refuges for such creatures as the yoker caiman, deer, and Pantanal jaguar. 18. Most species are not under threat due to the low deforestation rates, less than 17% of native vegetation now in the area due to new regulations. 19. Some of the causes which threaten the Pantanal ecosystems are fishing. Commercial fishing is focused on only a few species and is probably not sustainable. 20. National and international sport fishing in the Paraguay River and its tributaries are the main focus for fishing activities. 20. Local fishing communities have been under close watch by environmentalists as well. 19. Cattle ranching. Approximately 99% of the land in the Pantanal is privately owned for the purpose of agriculture and ranching, even though there are some regulations on available land based on the extent of flooding during each wet season. 21. 9. There are 2,500 fazendas in the region and up to 8 million cattle. 22. Erosion and sedimentation caused by this activity alter the soil and hydrological characteristics of Pantanal floodplain ecosystems. Consequently, native species are threatened by the change in ecosystem variables. 21. Hunting, poaching, and smuggling of endangered species. Sad smiley. 23. Reptile, wildcat and parrot species are particularly at risk from the smuggling industry due to their high value on the black market. Uncontrolled tourism and overuse of natural resources. Deforestation. Establishment of logging companies during political turmoils in the region resulted in peak deforestation rates between 1978 to 1989. Many livelihoods were dependent on harvesting rubber trees as new waves of migrants arrived, resulting in what is now there today. 19. Silt runoff from deforested highlands alters soil hydrology and is a significant threat to the Pantanal. 18. Pollution from gold mining operations and agro-industry. 21. The Pantanal is a natural water treatment system as it removes chemicals, including pollutants, from water. Overpollution from industrial development, especially gold mining, can harm native flora and fauna. However, water quality in the Pantanal was not significantly degraded as of 2002. 20. Pollution from sewage systems and pesticides. 23. Movement to large-scale agriculture of food crops, mainly soybeans, has adopted the use of large quantities of chemical pesticides and fertilizers which leach into the soil or in off to the floodplains of the Pantanal. 17. Infrastructure development, shipping canals, raised roads, pipelines. 21. The proposed plan to dredge the Paraguay and Paraná rivers to allow ocean-going ships to travel 3,442 km, 2,139 mi, inland is of particular concern and could affect the hydrology, flooding and drainage cycles of the region, and therefore impact the ecosystem. 23, 24. Forest fires. In late 2020, a quarter of the wetland was destroyed by an unprecedented fire occurred due to climate change. An area estimated of about 7,681 square miles has been razed by the fire, killing millions of vertebrates. 25. Experts say 2020 is the most active year on record for wildfires. 26. Until November 2020, Brazil's National Institute of Space Research, INPE, had detected more than 21,200 fires in the Pantanal biome, a figure that is already 69% higher than the full-year record from 2005, when INPE recorded roughly 12,500 fires. There were 8,106 fires in September 2020 alone, more than 4 times the historic average for the month. 27. Climate change. Current predictive climate models indicate a progressive increase in the frequency of extreme events, for example, extreme rainfalls and extended droughts. These events could affect the Pantanal's ecosystem functioning, amplifying and worsening human modifications of hydrological and environmental conditions in the basin. 28. Protected areas. Hotel Cisc Porto Cercado in the SESC Reserve. A portion of the Pantanal in Brazil has been protected as the Pantanal Mato Grossense National Park.